in that room right now, everybody was sitting down. Everybody that's applauding is on the independent side, the Republican side. Everybody, regardless of your leanings, the people that really have America as a whole, their best interests at heart, are the ones standing up, cheering, and chanting. While meanwhile, on the left side, the liberal side, the Democratic side, they're sitting there like little children. Like I said in my video yesterday, before I even watched the State of the Union address, there were already murmurs and whispers in the dark that Democrats were going to try to be disruptive and, have put up some kind of defiant defense in their mind. And for some strange reason, they still, to this very day, they think that's a good idea. They actually believe this is in the best interest for their party, because let's make no mistake about it. They don't give a fuck about us at all. They care about their own greased palms. And now that President Trump is in office, their palms have become very ashy, and they're very mad about that. These 7-Eleven slush slurpee funds that they were taking advantage of all these years, that people might have heard whispers about, but nobody really wanted to take a deep dive into it the way that Trump and Elon Musk is with Doge. This is why you have a bunch of petulant children on the Democratic side pouting the whole night to show, oh, no matter what, we're against them. Even when they brought up a young man, a survivor, a cancer survivor, whose dream was always to be a police officer, and President Trump gave him an honorary honor to be an honorary Secret Service agent. They couldn't even put their bipartisan evilness to the side to stand and clap for that. They don't care about America. Like I've been saying for the longest time, the Democratic Party has become domestic, however you want to rephrase the word. I know we got to be YouTube sensitive about certain topics, but look at their actions of treason to the very country they were sworn in to serve. And they're mad because they're no longer able to serve themselves.
6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started. I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it. The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory.
The whole night, Democrats sat smug look on their faces. All of them. You name them. Jasmine Crockett, Nancy Pelosi, on down. It doesn't matter who you name. Al Green, punk ass. That's why he got tossed up out of there. Like, how can you not see that the Democratic Party has been opposed and against the American people this whole time? The veil has been lifted. The only way you cannot see it is if you forgot how your eyelids work. Because if you open your eyes, you can blatantly see they are not for the American people. They would sooner serve a foreign nation before America. That's why I label them what I do. They are treasonous. It doesn't matter if you use brute force as a way to be treasonous, weapons of mass destruction to be treasonous. You can do that with the stroke of a pen. And that's what Democrats have done. Their pen stroke cut through the American people like a sword through flesh. And it's been going that way for decades on top of decades times more decades. And nobody has ever called them on it or shined a spotlight on what the fuck they've actually been doing until now. And a lot of you idiots still fall prey to a lot of the Democratic propaganda, witchcraft, whatever you want to call it, whatever kind of gumbo stew they feed y'all to turn y'all into idiots. Anybody that can be fed Dumbo Gumbo, you guys are first in line. I'm talking about you Democratic supporters, blindly supporting to the point where you won't even come to have a neutral, objective conversation. Because as soon as your ideology gets poked, as far as poke holes all through your argument, what you're saying, what you thought was the truth that really wasn't, as soon as somebody shows, you resort to insulting them, calling them some kind of name. But wait a minute, what does that have to do with what the facts are? Oh, I get it. See, now that you've discovered that you've been wrong this whole time, your pride, your ego won't let you fall in line with that. And it's rampant in the black community. So much pride, so much ego. Nobody ever willing to say, you know what, hey, I was wrong. You look online, you look even on TikTok, there are chosen few people that are finally stepping up. I see a few black women stepping up like, hey, which is shocking to me because that's normally doesn't happen in masses as far as the macro. Because a lot of us was raised under the Democratic umbrella growing up. That was ingrained in us at a young age growing up. And even if we notice something as in our young adolescent years and we said, you know what, that doesn't quite sound right. Oh, boy, you don't know what you're talking about. When you get older, you just make sure you vote Democrat. Okay. You know, even at a time when you're young, you're not even thinking about that type of shit. But it was still ingrained in us growing up. And we were basically groomed into being Democrats without even, having logical sense to be like, wait a minute. But once that kicked in and we was like, oh, nah, something don't sound right here. And we actually started looking at stuff. Some of us followed the information. Some of us was able to think for ourselves and be like, oh, nah, hell nah. Democrats been on some bullshit. And then you have others that are still in bed on the plantation because those itchy, scratchy wool covers that they give the slaves sometimes, oh, they love those. It's like Limus's blanket. Can't let that go. Gotta vote blue no matter who. Yeah, we be ranting around here.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525. A map that reads almost completely red for Republican. Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever.
Last night, President Donald J. Trump basically pulled out the Infinity Gauntlet with all the Infinity Stones, and he snapped his fingers, and the Democratic Party evaporated. That's what you saw last night. The whole world witnessed with their own eyes what the Democratic Party is truly about. Democrats are terrorists. Nancy Pelosi, terrorist. Jasmine Crockett, terrorist with pens, using the stroke of their pens to destroy the American people. That's what these people have been doing.
Small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to see.
And this is where Al Green decides to cut up. He wants to go to the Breakfast Club on Saturday morning so he can get that pat on his head. Like, oh, thank you for your service. Now go fetch my slippers. That's what the Democratic Party will be telling him after this. That's all he ever wanted. That pat on the head, and now he can fetch the Democratic slippers.
Cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant at Arms to restore order to the joint session. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant at Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Oh, slick back Willie looking ass. He looked like one of them type niggas. He's gonna get a chance to fetch his master's slippers later. The Democrats got his back. Some of them, they probably told him to be the fall guy. It's like, you know what, Al, we need you to be the crash test dummy. Can you handle that for us? I sure can. You better believe it. Just leave it to me. Watch what I do. You're going to be very proud. Nancy Pelosi over there sipping on Guinness and tequila or whatever the hell else she be drinking. She looked like she was fried last night. Like what? She be swimming in a bottle. If it's a worm in the bottom of a bottle of tequila, she wrestling with that motherfucker. Just acting like children, like little kids. And in the sandbox, they think in their mind, in their imaginary mind, they think, holy crap, this is a real sandcastle. Little fairies and little trolls and elves, they can actually live in this sandcastle because it's real. It's realer than the house I live in imaginary land. And then the little kid starts crying because he got his sandcastle kicked over. This is how the Democrats are acting right now. They got their sandcastle kicked over.
That is Congressman Green of Texas, 77 years old. He is being escorted out of the chamber as Speaker of the House because he was not maintaining decorum during the president's speech.
And we've ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency. Perhaps you've heard of it, which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight. Thank you.
One thing he's definitely right about, the people should not ever vote Democrats on any level ever again. They proved last night they are against the American people. You claim and you might say you want to elevate and get out of it, but that is a lie. You have been lying to yourselves this whole time. You really enjoy every aspect of how you grew up. You enjoy the struggle. You enjoy living check to check or a little bit better than check to check. You enjoy the complacency and where, if you don't agree with me, then I don't want to associate with you or be around you. That is fine by me because y'all are fucking stupid. And even when you have the resources to find things out so that you stop regurgitating stupid ass shit that's factually wrong and incorrect, you have the tools, you have the opportunity to find these things out for yourself, and you still make the choice to follow along with the propaganda. Since you choose to do that on purpose, then I can actually look at you and say you choose to be stupid on purpose. And if that's the case, then you deserve whatever you get in these coming years. That being said, this is Gen X Media 7, and this transmission is over.